Hi guys, welcome back or welcome if you're new. My name is Tiana and I'm the maker behind Also Stitched, and today we have yarn review. It is a new to me yarn. I'm not sure if any one of you have ever heard of this yarn or tried this yarn. I didn't find a lot of people talking about this. I just found about this yarn on accident. It is called Yarnsmiths and it is the house brand of Wool Warehouse. In case you have never heard of Wool Warehouse, it is UK based online shop. I've been buying off Wool Warehouse for the past 8 months, ever since I have started knitting, and that is my go-to place for affordable knitting yarn like drops. They have a lot of drops yarns and they do run sales, and I'm monitoring their website monthly, or better say weekly, even though changes are only monthly, but I still go there weekly and just check what's going on, if there's anything new on sale, but it never happens. The sales are only monthly. It is January by the time I'm filming this, and this month when I checked their website, I've noticed a chenille yarn. I've never searched for chenille yarn on their website. I know that they do stock Bernat blanket, but even with sales, Bernat blanket was still too expensive for me. So I just stopped checking, and only ever if I go on their website, I'm looking for my knit yarn. Until this month when I went on the sales section and I've noticed chenille yarn and I was like, what is this? This is new. And I opened it and I was surprised. First of all, it was cheap, affordable, and a great amount of color selection. And I was like, oh my god, I need to try this. This looks beautiful. And I did. The good thing about Wool Warehouse is they're shipping worldwide and it is pretty affordable shipping. Shipping to Australia is only £8, which is, in case you're wondering, the exchange rate for Aussies, it is ×2. So £8 is only 16 Australian dollars to ship from UK to Australia, which if you're an Aussie, you know that shipping within Australia is $15. So that is very affordable. $16 from UK to Australia is very affordable. And the parcel usually takes around a week or 10 days to arrive to Australia, and they ship it in beautiful organza bags, so your yarn actually arrives protected, because within polybag they also have that organza bag. I'm gonna show you the bag. I probably have around 10 bags because I've been crazy ever since I've discovered Wool Warehouse. I'm buying from there every month, sometimes even a couple of months. I have another order on my way. I'll mention that later. I just love how quick and easy it is. I'm not sure if this website is popular in crochet community as much as it is in knitting community, because I'm also the part of the knitting community. I have my knitting channel, which is always linked down below. If you're curious about that, feel free to check. I'm here to talk about the Wool Warehouse. I'm nowhere near sponsored by this business or brand or online shop. I'm too small for them to even reach out to me. So please, this is just my personal opinion. No sponsorship. Everything is bought with my own money and I love it. So let's jump into it. So this is what their bag look like. It is beautiful big organza bag, and I feel like these yarns really come protected and I really love that. I'm gonna put this aside because I have my yarns that I'm gonna talk about first already out. So let's start with the biggest one. So this is Snug as a Bug and it is their blanket yarn. And they also have a couple of versions of this yarn, which some of them were very thick. I have my laptop here, so I'm just looking into the other sizes. I also forgot to mention with shipping, the only downside of the shipping is they're limiting you to 1.8 kilos for the 8 pounds shipping. If you exceed the 1.8, the shipping is double. They do have a note that they are suggesting to placing 2 orders. Occasionally I either place 2 orders, or I think once I actually placed a bigger order and it all arrived in one package with just double the shipping. So I don't find that an issue. It's coming from UK to Australia, so I don't mind paying $16 for shipping. So just so you know, there is cap on the weight of the package. This is just Snug as a Bug. So they already have Snug as a Bug Big, which is 33 meters in 300 grams. That is huge. It calls for 20 mil hook. No, we are skipping that. that. This one is 300 grams and it has 150 meters, which is exactly same as Modavira blankie yarn. Exactly the same. They feel the same, they look the same, and they work together perfectly. I feel like whoever is producing this yarn is also producing this yarn because it is the same. And let me tell you the color selection for this one. There are 38 colors for Snug as a Bug, just the plain colors, plus this one is print, and in the print version they have 17 colors. So that is 38 plus 17. If I'm good at my math, that would be 55. Am I correct? 55 colors. If you are from Australia, you know that this is, I don't know, less than 10 colors available. We used to have a bigger selection, but then they decided to discontinue because that Spotlight. We are just not allowed to have this yarn in our stores, I guess. So if you're looking something to match with Modavira blankie yarn and you like to work with this yarn, this is your go-to if you want to combine two colors or expand your color selection, because the colors are beautiful. This one is called Desert Blush and it is so beautiful. You're gonna see I have tested all the yarns. I have made plushies out of all of these yarns, so you will be able to see what they look like, and it was a pleasure to work with. I worked these yarns on 7mm hook and it was gliding. It was gliding. I had no issues. The prints are beautiful. There's so many variations. There is some speckled yarn, the plain colors. There's nothing better when you can have like 3 shades of blue, 5 shades of pink, like greens, browns. Oh my god, the brown selection. They have from white, porcelain, cream to oatmeal, cookie, sandy camel, teddy bear. Those are just from like brownish shades. I mean, it's amazing. And for example, for yellows, there are 3 shades of yellows and things like that. It is just amazing. I don't know. I'm really surprised. I love this. I don't mind working with this yarn. I usually make my dragons out of this. Anything big, I'm making out of this yarn because I want it to be even bigger. And I already have more of this yarn on my way because I'm doing a convention this year and I'm making a massive showstopper and I'm making it in this yarn, so I have already placed another order because you're gonna see that. That's gonna be my future project. I'm gonna film a whole project of me making this massive plushie because that's gonna be my showstopper for my convention, which I will update you in the future. I'm not ready to announce the convention. All I can say is gonna be bigger than last year. So yeah, there is a Snug as a Bug from Wool Warehouse. They're prints version, and all I can say, this is really amazing. I mean, look at these colors. This is white with blush pink and brown, and it is just beautiful. When I saw this, I knew this would make an amazing Loaf Cats, and here it is. I mean, look at this. This is the best part for you to see if there is any pulling happening, and it is. You can see a slight pulling over here, but it is not ugly. It still looks beautiful. I love how she ended up looking, and isn't she beautiful? I mean, colors are so nice and amazing, and it was really nice to work with it. And honestly guys, I recommend this yarn. I forgot to tell you the price. Let me check the price. So the price for one skein is £5 and 90 cents. Pennies? What is their smaller unit of pounds? I don't know. You know what I mean. £5.90. This was times 2, so technically this was less than 12 Australian dollars. Modavira blankie yarn used to cost $18, and on sales we were paying it around $12.80, and they have lowered the price for Modavira blankie yarn. Now it is $14, and on sale you can usually find it around $8, something, which is amazing that Spotlight did that, but they also took all the colors from us, so I'm not happy about that. So technically you are paying $12 for this massive ball, which is exactly the same price you would pay for Modavira Blanky yarn. The only thing you're paying extra on top of that is shipping. But considering the colors that they have and these beautiful prints, I think it's really, really well worth. I mean, you're never gonna buy more than one skein because these skeins do last forever. Even though 150 meters doesn't seem a lot because, for example, chenille yarn is 120 meters, but you know what I mean, they do last a long time. So yeah, I made one Loaf Cat just to test it and I really love it. I usually make my Loaf Cats out of the Modavira Blanky yarn just so I can charge more for them, but I was also influenced because there is too many crochet influencers out in the YouTube community and Karen is one of them. Karen from Yarn and Whimsy. She's just amazing. I don't know. She has the best roundups in my opinion and I just love watching her, and she did her 2025 patterns roundup and she keeps talking about this snake and I was like, I need to try this snake. So it is the snake from Zazoolia and it is called Swirly the Snake No Wire Crochet Pattern. So there is no stuffing in this snake, and that's what drew my attention when Karen mentioned this snake. And she mentioned that it was one of her best patterns according to people clicking on the affiliate links. So I trusted that and I was like, I really need to try this. And let me tell you, I'm obsessed. You know that I barely ever make more than one or two. I made 4. That is how much I love this pattern because it is mindless. When I'm making these small market makes, I need them to be mindless. Otherwise, I am done after first one. And this was amazing. Amazing. So for this one, you are crocheting the body flat. You're not going in the round. You're just crocheting flat. You are seaming it together. I have no issues seaming. I talk about it very often. Seaming for me is very relaxing. So to seam this, it's not a big of a deal, especially if you're doing with blanket yarn. There's no shedding, there's no scare of the yarn breakage or anything like that. I really enjoy making these snakes. I'm not a huge fan of the head, I have to admit, because I do find them very skinny and I try to modify it on my last snake. I'm gonna show it, but I'm still not happy with it. I'm still gonna play with it. I'm gonna check some of my older patterns to see if I can come with a better head for my personal preference. Nothing wrong with the pattern. The pattern actually calls for no stuffing the head, but I thought that would be a bit weird. So I actually stuffed the head just to give it a bit more volume because otherwise this snake would be very flat and I didn't like that. This is amazing. I have to admit, I really enjoyed making this and it looks beautiful. The color change is very simple because you're doing only 2 rounds of white. So the white part is Modavira blanket yarn and the rest is Snug as a Bug from Yarnsmiths. And they work together just perfectly. And the size, look at the size. It is just a perfect little snake. Snakes for me have not been selling very much just because I didn't have a lot of snakes to offer. I made 2 ginormous snakes that I then curl into the pretzel and I've sold those. I also made 3 of the Crochet Grow swirly snakes. Last year when she released that pattern, I think that was released back in January last year. And I made 3 of them and sold 2. The third one is not selling. I assume it's colors. I've been lowering the price and no one is buying that snake and I assume it's colors. And then I was making the snap bracelet snakes. Those were not selling at all. And then I was making like random snakes, like smaller ones. They do occasionally sell, but nothing special. So I was like, I just want a fun snake because snakes are very popular in Australia and boys like to buy snakes. And I thought that this could be the perfect small plushie. It doesn't take a long time. I think this took me around 35 minutes. And since it is a quick make, I don't have to put up a huge price on it. I think I'm gonna charge $22 for them. So they're gonna be substantial and affordable for kids, but at the same time, they're not time consuming. Let me show you all the others that I made. This one, I made out of the mill ends that beigey gray color from mill ends that I bought recently. It looks really beautiful on this snake, and she is a bit smaller. Look at the size difference, because I used 6 mil hook for this one, just because this yarn is running thinner, and that's why she is a bit smaller. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna lower the price. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with pricing this little one, but I love the color. This really is a beautiful snake color. And then I realized that this is the same mill ends yarn. Since I'm not stuffing these plushies, that I can just size up the hook, because it really doesn't matter. I'm not stuffing it except for the head, but I'm not overstuffing it. And look, it is the same yarn. This is the bigger hook. This is the 7 mil. This one's the 6 mil. So from now on, I'm just gonna continue making them in 7 mil, and I will have the same size for them. This is the one where I played with the head shape, and I'm not happy about it. It looks a bit weird. It looks like a bird, but oh well. I'm gonna keep playing and trying. And I also have another one. This is valuable rainbow blankie something yarn, you know, it's from Spotlight, the yarn that is no longer available, but really looks amazing in this combination. I mean, you can tell that I really enjoyed making these snakes just for the pattern. Pattern is so mindless and it's a quick make. I mean, 35 minutes per snake, that's nothing. I really enjoyed making these, guys. That was part of the review because I wanted to try this yarn work together with Modavira blankie yarn. And that is it about the snug as a bug. Let's go to the second one. So the second yarn is their chenille yarn. This is what caught my attention first because I didn't know that they have chenille yarn. This is 100 grams and it has 100 meters compared to my hobby toucan that I'm using the most, which is 100 grams with 120 meters, which means this is thinner than this, and it is a bit. I haven't tried working them together yet, but just by the look they would work very easily. Let me show you this up close. Here is the difference. You can tell that yellow is a bit thicker than the orange, but I think in general they could be easily worked together. For me, this is exactly the same yarn. This is just like Parfait Chunky, Hobby Toucan, it is the same yarn. It sheds, of course, it sheds like any chenille yarn. I'm not bothered about that. It is very soft, very fluffy. I love working with chenille yarn. Chenille yarn has a special place in my heart, and I think that not everything can be made in blanket yarn. That is just my opinion. I love working with chenille yarn, and I was on a hunt for a new chenille yarn just for the colors because I will be running out of the Hobby Toucan colors, some of the browns. So all of the yarns that I bought from Wool Warehouse, they were on sale this month and they were on sale for 40%. So the original price of this is £5 and I paid £3, which is $6 Australian. You cannot find $6 yarn in Australia. There is no way to find this cheap. When I was buying Hobby Toucan off of Hobby website, I was paying around $5.20. That was the cheapest I could get it on sale, and I'm usually buying only on sale. I will never pay this full price because full price would be $10 and I can get that cheaper in Australia. So only when this is on sale I will be ordering, and I didn't order more. I just ordered 3 or 5, I think 5 colors just to test them and to see the colors in real life, and I love it. And I'll probably wait some future sale. I'm not gonna buy this month anything. I have enough yarn in my stash, but I just bought to test and I love it. I do see myself using this in the future because it's really beautiful, it's really nice, and the best part about this is 70 colors. Can you imagine having 70 colors? 70 colors! Amazing! Amazing color selection. Let me just have a look. The browns selections. They have 10 shades of browns coming from like softer to the darkest. If you're looking just the dark brown shades, they have 5. They have 5 red colors. They have 5 oranges. They have greens. I think greens are 7, but then when you go into teal greens, they have another 7 blues, 7 purples, 7 pinks, 10. I mean, amazing color selection, just amazing. I don't know, I was surprised when I saw 70 colors. So let me show you which colors I got. This one is called Vanilla Fudge. It is like their yellow mustard, but it is not as, let me compare. This is the mustard in Hobby Toucan. It's a bit less saturated mustard, and I'm just looking at their website. They actually have a mustard color, so I guess I didn't buy the mustard color. Let me check. Vanilla Fudge. Where's the Vanilla Fudge here? Oh, this is in a brown section. This is not considered yellow because they do have mustard yellow color. So this is coming from the brown section. And they do have antique gold, which is a bit darker than this. Amazing. And here is compared to Elise Veluto. You can tell it's more brownish than mustard, so I'm not gonna call this mustard because they have put it in a brown family. Then I got this one, which is called Oatmeal, and on their website it is in a browns family, and it is third shade in the brown family. I bought this one because I thought this would be a perfect for cows, bears, or even dolls. This could be a beautiful skin tone for dolls. And I have only 4 skeins, I realized. Then next I bought this green because this green has caught my eye because it is so saturated. It is called Apple Green and it is so beautiful. This is actually really saturated color and it is amazing. Let me compare it to the similar color in Elise Veluto. Only I can find their numbers. Color 11. This is my favorite color in Elise Veluto. So this is the comparison. Very similar. Camera is a bit blowing this up, but Yarnsmiths is a bit more saturated than Elise Veluto. Yes, here, that's the better. You see how Yarnsmiths is a bit more saturated than Elise Veluto, but this is my favorite color in Elise Veluto, number 11, and for Yarnsmiths it is Apple Green. And last but not least, I have color Latte. This is the second in the brown section. It's not as warm brown. I would call this more cool brown, but I love it. I actually really love it. The warmer brown that they have here is called Rust and it's very dark, and there is another one in between which is called Brown Bear and it looks really cool tone again. So you will see I made a plushie out of this yarn, so just so you can see the color. And here is what I made out of it. So I used brown Latte and apple green for the frog hoodie, and I went with Nooks Hooks Hoodie Bear with a frog hoodie, and it is just the cutest. This time I decided to stick to the original pattern. I did the eye size that she suggests. I didn't stuff the head and I did the face shaping, and so far this one is my favorite, definitely. I don't think I will experiment more with her face. I really think that original face looks the best and this is by far the cutest one. One other thing that I've noticed with this yarn, I had to size up the hook. Usually for my Hobby Toucan I use a 5mm hook, and for this one I had to size up to 5.5, and I noticed that when I was doing hoodie. So the hoodie is the first thing you start with this pattern, and you start in the round, and if your circle is not laying flat and if it's turning inwards or outwards, it means you're not creating the perfect circle. Then you need to size up your hook. That's exactly what was happening. I actually didn't frog it. I just change the hook size and continue, and it was perfect. So 5.5 worked for me. I thought he would end up being bigger compared to my Hobby Toucan bears, but it didn't. Unfortunately I'm very much blocked here now with camera and my setup, and I cannot go grab the other bears, but I did compare them, and this is a smidge bigger. You cannot tell the difference, honestly. The difference is so little that I won't be able to put a bigger price on this because it doesn't look any bigger. I can tell the difference, but I don't think that the customers will be able to tell the difference. 5.5 hook worked the best for me, and it was pleasure to work with this yarn. It is just as any other chenille yarn. It is less dry. I find Hobby Toucan yarn a bit dry on my hands, but I don't find that as a flaw. I actually like how the plushies are dry and matte finish. This yarn is less dry and it has more shiny finish to it compared to Hobby Toucan. That is just my observance and it's nothing special. I do recommend this yarn because it is beautiful, it's nice to work with it, and it comes with such an amazing color selection. So yeah, that was the great discovery. I really enjoyed working with this yarn. And last but not least, I have a completely new yarn to me, yarn style, that I went a bit crazy, and look how much I got. This is all one yarn, plus I have one ball here, so let's talk about it. This is half empty because this is the skein I already worked through. I'm gonna show you the rest of the colors. This is Yarnsmiths Flurry Chunky yarn, and oh my god, this is something completely new to me. I'm gonna compare this to Elise in a second just so you can see the difference, but this is what it looks like, and you wouldn't believe, but this is only 50-gram ball and it has 125 meters. That is a lot. That is the same meterage as Hobby Toucan, but this is 50 grams. So I was a bit confused how this is gonna work, so I decided that I'm gonna buy 2 skeins of each colors in case I need to double strand this. And in the end I did double stranded. So when you work out of the 2 balls double stranded, it comes as thick as this, or even thicker. It comes as thick as Elise Velluto, and it can work in combination with Elise Velluto. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. It was a different experience. Let's talk about the price. The regular price is £3. On sale it was £1.50, which is $3 Australian. So one skein was $3 Australian, and to double strand and achieve Elise Velluto size, you're paying $6 for this. And the color selection is not as good. There is only 12 colors and there is no black. I needed black for a project that I have already made, but I'm not ready to share yet. I've already used some of this yarn for a special project that I will be sharing in 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not ready to share it yet, but you will see it 3 to 4 weeks when I will walk you through that process. I went with the browns, all the browns. Let me show you all the colors that I have in this ginormous bag. Let me pull them out first because there is so many of them. And for each color I bought 2 skeins just so I can double strand them. So here are all the colors that I got. So I got 2 skeins of white, 2 skeins of yellow, and there are 3 beiges. This one is called Oatmeal, this one is called Sandy Camel, and this one is called Teddy Bear. And that is their selection of browns. I went with the browns just because I knew I will be making teddy bears, and they worked perfectly double stranded. Let me show you my projects. Before I show you my projects that I have already made, let me compare this for you guys who have Elise Softy. So this is Elise Softy, and Elise Softy in 50 grams has 115 meters, which is pretty similar. So this has only 10 meters more, and they look very comparable. I do find Yarnsmith Flurry yarn a bit chunkier and fluffier. So the yellow is Yarnsmith and the white one is Elise Softy. And I don't think they would work together because Yarnsmith is thicker, even though it has more meters in the skein, which would mean it's thinner, but for some reason it looks thicker and it is a bit differently constructed. So let's compare to Elise Softy Plus. Softy Plus has 100 grams and 120 meters. So that would be the same thickness with this, but let me tell you, these two don't work together. They just don't. Even though they are the same meterage per 100 grams, they just don't work together. And that is definitely thicker than Flurry yarn, you can tell. This is more fuller, while Flurry is very, very thin and less fluffy, I would call it. This is more substantial. So if anything could work together, could be this, but I'm not sure if I would work these yarns together. But I do find it a good addition to these types of yarns, and it's very affordable and cheap. I don't remember how much I was paying Elise softy. I don't think I was paying it only $3. It was especially the softy one. I think it was probably around $6, while this is only $3. So this is so much more affordable. Please don't laugh at my first project that I did because it looks a bit disheveled. Even my husband, when he saw this project, he said, that looks a bit disheveled. Are you sure you're gonna sell that? I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna put it in my $15 basket. Some kid will love it. So this is my Miffy. She looks poorly just because this is single-stranded, and I have single-stranded this on a 5mm hook. This was my first test. I struggled. I got a lot of holes, and even though it doesn't look holy, I can tell that it was really hard to sew without having holes, and it was a bit of a struggle, and this was very tiny project to even test the yarn on it. I think if you're single stranding this, that the perfect hook size would be 4mm, if not maybe even 3mm. I would have to test it, but honestly I'm not interested in doing this single stranded because I have made a couple of plushies double stranded, and I'm gonna show you that in that future video. I have one plushie that I have double stranded that I will show you today, but the rest is gonna be for the future video. So this is just a disheveled Miffy that is single-stranded, and it is what it is. I don't suggest single-stranding this yarn. And then I decided to double-strand it, and it was amazing. I really love the way she looks. There is no holes to her. You can tell some holes because this is more holey than chenille yarn or blanket yarn, just because how this yarn performs. I don't know, it's hard to avoid holes, but double stranding it definitely made it less holey. And this is Elise Velluto. I just wanted to test if this is compatible to Elise Velluto, because when I double stranded this, I worked this on a 6mm hook, and I work my Elise Velluto on 6mm hook, and it was the perfect fit together. I love this yarn. It is fun, it is different, it is giving a different texture to your plushies, unlike chenille or blanket yarn. So I do find it interesting for some special projects, or for example this chicken. It just looks amazing on a chicken because it gives her the feather look like. I had fun using this, even though it's double stranded, it wasn't an issue for me. And if you would like to go with this yarn, just double stranded, and it works perfectly on 6mm hook, and the price comes down to the same if you're going to buy Elise Mega Softy or Elise Velluto. $6 Australian for the 2 skeins of this yarn. It's not a big deal, and it really gives something special to your plushies. That future video that I will be showing you this yarn, I made 2 teddy bears and they look adorable, so stay tuned for that. Overall, I do see myself using more of this yarn. I only wish they had more colors. At the moment they have white, off-white, 3 browns that I showed you, yellow, blue, pink and mint, and a different pink which is called Piglet. It's a bit softer pink, and they have like white with a hint of gray and soft gray. And that's it. That's not a lot of colors, so it is fun, it's different, and I feel like this texture could caught eyes of some customers. So yeah, unfortunately by the time you're watching this video, I think it's gonna be 28th of January. They usually run their sales through the whole month, so you will still have time to go online and place an order. I'm not sure, sometimes they carry on sales through different months, but we'll see. Actually this flurry yarn is 50% off, while all the other Yarnsmiths yarn were 40% off. So it is a great saving for only $3.50 per skein. It's nice, it's nice. So that is all actually when it comes to all the yarns that I bought from Wool Warehouse. Like I said, it is their Yarnsmiths brand, it is their in-house brand, and I had fun testing this yarn. I had fun discovering this yarn just for the color selection and everything, and I love everything that I have tried. It works great with all the yarns that I have already in my stash. It is affordable wool when it's on sale. The shipping is cheap, and occasionally if I caught this yarn on sale, I do see myself buying more because I do buy from Wool Warehouse monthly because I'm always on a hunt for sales for my knit yarns. I can also see here that they have free UK deliveries. I assume a lot of UK customers have already heard about this yarn. So yeah, that is it for this video today. Please let me know in the comments down below, have you tried this yarn and what is your experience with this yarn? With all of that, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting!